All right, I wanted to talk today about the very important Supreme Court case that's coming up today about Masterpiece Cake Shop. Now, this is not an issue of what they're calling LGBT rights, and this for a very simple reason. This cake shop never said we don't serve your kind. They just said they don't make these type of cakes. It's a very simple thing. You know, if a kosher restaurant would say we don't serve Gentiles, all right, that could be an issue possibly under this law, although it's questionable, if it's right or wrong for there to be laws like this. But let's put this aside. Let's accept the fact that there are laws against discrimination. But a Gentile can't go to a kosher or a non-Orthodox Jew or whatever, can't go to a kosher restaurant and demand to be served pork and say, well, you're discriminating against me by not serving pork, or by not serving me a cheeseburger, or the same thing with a halal restaurant as far as pork or whatever, or a vegetarian restaurant and asking to be served meat. It's just, they don't serve this type of item. They don't offer this service. It's the same to call an electrician and ask him to fix your toilet. You call a plumber to fix your toilet. You don't call an electrician, and you don't call to a kosher restaurant and ask for pork, or a vegetarian restaurant and ask for meat. There are places they're allowed to choose what they serve. So it's a pretty open and shut case. It's it won't be surprising though that unfortunately the left-wingers on the bench will try to twist the laws into following their own ideology as opposed to what the Constitution actually says. Whereas the people who are quote unquote on the right will be just simply what the law is. It's just very simple and straightforward. It's not, again, if they said we don't serve gays here, that would be discrimination. But they said, here, we'll give you a plain cake and you couldn't have someone else decorate it or whatever. We just don't make these decorations on the cake that has a very obvious message. Just the same restaurant, the same baker said they don't make Halloween cakes. And we live in a free country, or hopefully we still will after the Supreme Court, and I'm pretty confident that we will be still living in a free country, because I think the Supreme Court will do the right thing, although it's scary to think that there's even one justice on the Supreme Court who sees themselves as an activist to try to make laws, as opposed to just make sure that laws that exist, muster up to the constitutional test and so forth, which even that, initially was taking things a little bit beyond what the court was meant to be. But, it's accepted that there is such a thing as judicial review. Here, we're not talking about judicial review per se. The fact of the matter is, this is a state issue, and it's a state, it doesn't necessarily have to establish, meaning to say if this state wants to impose this law. But the fact of the matter is that religious freedom has been enshrined by the courts in the past to be something that states have to follow as well, even though if we take an originalist approach it wouldn't be so. But even so, it's not so clear that here that the law is being violated as it is written. So to me, it's a pretty open and shut case, and it's surprising to me that anyone would think, and to anybody who, if you're looking for an argument about this, again, it's not about gay rights. They have the right to go to a different bakery. They have the right also to boycott that bakery if they don't like their business practices and so forth. But to go, would they expect to go to a kosher bakery and say, well, we want some lard in our cake, in our dairy cake, which would not be kosher? Would they expect to go to a halal bakery and say, we want some pig lard in the cake, and say, well, if you refuse, you're discriminating against me because I'm not a Muslim, or I'm not a Jew, or I'm not an Orthodox Jew? I mean, just have some common sense. That's, if you want your freedoms, do what you want. Other folks have the freedoms to do what they want. They had on the radio today Austin Peterson, who is a libertarian who supports gay marriage, or who not necessarily supports gay marriage, but feels that the government shouldn't have a say one way or the other. And he also said that, this is ridiculous. I mean, it's shocking that this even is coming to the Supreme Court, and it's shocking. I saw now the ACLU saying, basically what they're saying is that you have to stop baking wedding cakes. If you refuse to bake gay wedding cakes, you can't bake straight wedding cakes anymore. Or something like that. I mean, it would really, and the thing is, Christians are not the only people who have these beliefs. I mean, the fact of the matter is, if you went to a kosher bakery, they also wouldn't make it for you. You went to a Muslim halal bakery, they also wouldn't make it. Why are they specifically attacking the Christians? It's because there's this anti-Christian bigotry that the left has today, that really we have to, as people who know what it means to be victims of fascists from the left, because that's who the Nazis were, that's who the communists were, that's who the ancient Romans were, and so forth. And that's what is going on with this type of case. All right, so we should really stand in unity, as should Muslims. Orthodox Jews and Muslims should stand in unity with Christians, and really the fact of the matter is, anybody who values liberty and freedom, no matter, even if you're an atheist, should be here to stand up to help Christians who are being persecuted by the left. All right. Well, God bless. Please like, share, and subscribe. Comment. I look forward to discussing more. I think gay people also should be, those who identify as such. They should be also standing up for this, because it's really not an issue of gay rights. It's an issue of liberty and freedom. And when I saw this from the ACLU, it just shows that they don't care about civil liberties. It's plain and simple. It's open as day that they're total frauds. All right. Well, God bless. Please like, share, and subscribe, comment, and look forward to discussing more. All right. All the best.